As you watch this video, a convoy of trucks carrying uranium concentrate is moving along the dusty roads of Africa. Russia purchased this uranium from the Republic of Niger after French companies fled the country. At least, that's what the European press claims. And this story is part of an important global process. Why does everyone suddenly need uranium so much? And why is Russia launching a mega project to mine it in Yakutia? We'll talk about this as well as about the new hero after a brief summary of positive news. At the Almaz shipbuilding plant, a Project 10-410 border patrol ship was launched. At the Chkalovsk shipyard, the passenger vessel Minin of the PKS-42 project was launched, and the second vessel of this project, Pozarsky, was also laid down. In the Nizhny Novgorod region, a shipbuilding production workshop has been opened. In the Kaluga region, a cable support systems plant. In the Sverdlovsk region, a building materials production facility. In the Moscow region, a food production plant. In Sergiev Posad, a deep poultry meat processing plant. In the Orenburg region, a vegetable oil plant. And in the Rostov region, 3 new sheep farms. A convoy of trucks is moving from the Republic of Niger through Burkina Faso and Togo to the coast of the Gulf of Guinea. In their cargo beds, there are 1,000 tons of so-called yellow cake, a valuable uranium concentrate that will be transported by sea to Russia. The French press wrote that such a deal has been agreed upon and will be implemented in the near future. And if this is really the case, then what is happening is a resounding slap in the face to France, President Macron, and all of Europe, which for decades has been accustomed to receiving uranium from Niger for its nuclear industry. Moreover, this slap came at the most inconvenient moment for them. After the military coup in Niger in 2023, the new government expelled the French military, revoked the license of the French company Orano to develop the deposits, including the richest Imuraren deposit, and then nationalized its assets. This included 1,300 tons of extracted uranium concentrate, ready for nuclear fuel processing. The authorities of Niger justified this by the exploitative terms of previous contracts and turned towards Russia. This became a harbinger of disaster for Europeans, since overall the European Union received a quarter of all its uranium from this African republic. In September, Niger's Minister of Mining Industry, Ousmane Abarchi, invited Rosatom at World Nuclear Week in Moscow to join uranium mining projects and build nuclear power plants. And last week, the French press reported that Russia had bought 1,000 tons of yellow cake from Niger and was preparing a highly risky operation to transport it out. But is that really the case? Rosatom said it is not involved in the uranium supply agreement from Niger, subtitle editor. Therefore, there is no official confirmation at the moment, and Rosatom would not buy concentrate. That is still the subject of ongoing legal disputes between the Republic of Niger and France, especially since the corporation has its own projects in Russia and abroad. In any case, the secret export of such a significant volume is a serious precedent because uranium could end up in the wrong hands. In this sense, it would actually be better if the recipient was Russia rather than the numerous terrorist groups in Africa. But one way or another, judging by the reaction of the French media, the yellow cake is going anywhere but the European Union, and that's disappointing for them. As we've mentioned many times before, uranium has become in demand again for 2 reasons. The first is the reduction of its global reserves, which, according to some estimates, will last at best for 100 years, and in some scenarios, only 20. The second reason is the focus on artificial intelligence development projects, which require a huge amount of electricity, and the only way to get additional amounts is from nuclear energy. There's nowhere else to get it from. Literally, what our project predicted 10 years ago has come true. during the period of dominance of the so-called Green Agenda, which has now been largely canceled. Last week, the Swedish parliament voted overwhelmingly to lift the moratorium on uranium mining. It was introduced in 2018 during the wave of green madness. Now, life has put everything in its place, and this also concerns Russia. Russia is a leader in nuclear technology, but it doesn't mine much uranium on its own land. That's why we're developing mining projects in other countries too, especially Kazakhstan, one of the world's top 4 producers. However, it's still more reassuring when the main mining is done at home, as proven by the example of France. And now it seems we've decided to play it safe, while Europeans and Americans collect the last scraps worldwide. We've approached the Elkon deposit in southern Yakutia, which is called the largest in the world and contains 600,000 tons of uranium. However, extracting it isn't that easy, and for a long time we kept putting this issue off. The Elkon mining and metallurgical plant is currently operating at the deposit, but for now it only extracts gold, which is also plentiful here. The good news is that after extracting the gold, uranium still remains in the so-called heap. Our chemists have figured out how to efficiently extract it from the gold mining residues, which were previously just stockpiled. The existing tailings are sufficient for around 9 years of extraction, and using neighboring reserves will cover the full 40%. And that's not all. At a depth of 300 meters, there are uranium-rich ores. To extract them, the construction of a modern plant is necessary. The project called Bolshoi Elkon was developed a long time ago, but it was postponed. Now it is being revived. In 2036, the plant will process 2.5 million tons of ore and produce 2,000 tons of uranium per year. And that means that just the proven reserves will be enough for at least 140 years of supply. And if we remember that our scientists are making successful progress in creating a closed nuclear cycle, which allows us to recycle waste, it becomes clear why there is such a strong focus on nuclear energy. Its resource base could become practically limitless in the future, unlike oil, coal, or gas. We will keep following the developments in the upcoming episodes, so make sure to subscribe to the Time Forward channel on any convenient platform if you haven't done so yet. Next up is the announcement and the rescue story. This week, the president of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, visited Russia. During the visit, a declaration was signed on elevating the interstate relations between Russia and Kazakhstan to the level of comprehensive strategic partnership and alliance. Similar agreements have been signed by our country with Indonesia, Iran, China, and North Korea.